In this video, we're going to be looking at the PlayStation console line and the evolution between the PlayStation 1 all the way to the PlayStation 5. And we'll look at some tech specs, the controllers, and some games that were notable during this time. Let's have some fun. So the PlayStation 1 is where it all started. It was released in December 1994. It featured a 32-bit GPU and CPU and a 16-bit audio engine. Now if we look at the actual PlayStation 1 itself, it's a very small console and it's also got a spring-loaded CD drive. We've also got two memory card inputs and we have two inputs for controllers as well. At the back here, we have an AV input, and we have the AV input would plug into your old TV, and that was the cable that I would use to plug into the TV, which was really interesting. This is the cable that I normally came with, so that would just plug in, and then you would connect your AV out to the TV, and that's how you would connect it. You would have these external memory cards with only like 8 megabytes, and that was like the max you could ever have. These were some notable games as well in the period of the PlayStation 1. For me, Digimon World was one of my favorite games. We've also got Crash Bash. Any of the Crash Bandicoot series was very notable in the PlayStation 1 era. We've even got games like Dragon Ball Z Ultimate Battle 22. That was an interesting game. We've got X-Men Mutant Academy 2. We've got Digimon Rumble Arena. Like any of those Digimon games were absolutely amazing. We've even got games like Monster Racer, which is a bit of a hidden gem for the PlayStation 1. And we've got the Simpsons wrestling game. These were all games that I enjoyed in my childhood. Main games would have been like Crash Bandicoot series. That was some of the main games that was very prominent in the PlayStation 1 era. So now let's move on to the PlayStation 2. Now as we delve into the PlayStation 2, this is one of the most prominent PlayStation consoles ever released in the line. So this sold over 100 million versions of the PlayStation 2. It was absolutely incredible. It went nuts. The console itself was released in March 2000. Because not only did it have the disc drive for the games, it also had the CD drive. In terms of the console itself, we had a few different models. We also had a few different selections of colors, which I didn't know until recently. In terms of the actual input, we have the normal PlayStation 5 input that we actually use to this day, still used with this PlayStation 2. We've got this update AV input with the white, yellow, and red inputs as well. We've also got an updated controller. It featured these circular pads, the most notable look for the PlayStation controller. It was always quite small and lightweight. That was something very specific about this controller and it was very cool. We also had the light that would appear under this analog button too, so that was something notable about it as well. Some games that were very notable during this time were games like the Crash Wrath of Cortex game, Simpsons Hit and Run, the SmackDown vs. Raw series, as well as SmackDown, Here Comes the Pain, Tony Hawk's Underground, FIFA Street, and any FIFA game, and Spyro Enter the Dragonfly. I'm sure I've missed plenty of games, but those were the main games from my childhood that I've picked up. Please let me know your favorite PlayStation 2 console games down below, and let's jump up to the PlayStation 3. The PlayStation 3 was a leap in terms of its technology and upgrades and advancements. It was also a leap in price. While the normal PlayStation 2 went for about $200 to $300, this went for about $500 to $600. Now this was released in November 2006. It had an upgraded CPU and another upgrade in the GPU engines. It also supported Dolby Atmos for its audio drivers and also had a Blu-ray disc drive. It also had its first wireless controller with its series as well. Some notable games in the PlayStation 3 line were games such as Red Dead Redemption, We've got God of War 3. There was even Modern Warfare 3 with Call of Duty. There was the Ratchet and Clank line. There was even the Arkham series with Batman as well. That was very notable, as well as the Assassin's Creed series. It was very notable to be quite a chunky piece of equipment, and that's why it was so expensive. As it sort of went along the lines of new upgrades such as the PS3 Slim and stuff, they actually took hardware away from the main series, which was interesting. It was also head-to-head with the Xbox 360, where the Xbox 360 actually led the line in terms of the more popular console for most of its lifetime, and just at the end, the PlayStation 3 just came out victorious. But it was due to a change in terms of the games and consumers. So originally the PlayStation 3 didn't have that library that people wanted, but as it furthered down the line, as games like The Last of Us were released, lots of really great exclusives such as Metal Gear games, the PlayStation 3 started turning around and becoming a more popular console. In terms of its main hardware as well, like I've said, it has the Blu-ray DVD player. It also features this 3-pin connection, features its first proper HDMI connection as well. It also still has the AV output as well. Some of these PlayStation 3s do feature backwards compatibility, but they're very hard to get. So this is the closest I could get to the original PlayStation 3 consoles. You can also get 500 gigabytes up to 1 terabyte of storage for your PlayStation 3 consoles. Now let's jump up to the PlayStation 4. PlayStation 4 era was one of the most notable eras in the PlayStation line, as it lasted the longest with almost a decade of its life. In terms of the PlayStation 4, what was notable about it was a lot of the game releases, the time of life, the build quality, and the series of builds that the PlayStation 5 delivered, from the Pro series to the Slim series to the original series. It was released in November 2013, so this was at the time of when The Last of Us was just getting released as well, so it was a very notable period in the PlayStation's life cycle, and it's really when the PlayStation life cycle really turned heads in terms of its popularity and became the forefront and the leader in terms of gaming. The customizable backgrounds that you could have as well in its main screens, it was not only a game driver but a media driver as well. It had in-game apps and stuff like that as well that you could download and use. Also, the updated DualShock controller was really notable. It was an upgrade in the wireless capabilities. It also had just a big revolution in terms of its design. It was the first console in the line that really had a custom GPU and a custom CPU, very high levels of megabytes per second. We've got an 8-core AMD GPU, we've got an upgraded memory with 8 gigabytes there, and we've got Dolby True Atmos support. This console also features 500 gigabytes to 1 terabyte models as well. Some of these notable games in terms of the PlayStation 4 would have been definitely the Spider-Man series. That was very notable. Games such as The Last of Us and Last of Us Part 2, that was very notable. Ghost of Tsushima, that was very good. Red Dead Redemption 2, that was one of the best games to be released. We've got the God of War series as well. Games like Days Gone, which were not very acclaimed at first, but then later down the line became very popular. There's other games like GTA 5, we've got the Assassin's Creed series as well, such as Odyssey and Origins, that was very popular. Ratchet and Clank, that was very good as well. So the PlayStation 4 system was definitely one of the most important systems in terms of its lifetime. But now let's take the leap and go to the PlayStation 5. So the PlayStation 5 was released in 2020, and it definitely showcased the brand new developments in terms of technology, in terms of its fast load times, its CPU, its custom range of SSDs inbuilt, and technology such as the Tempest 3D audio engine, that we've seen a massive leap of technology in this console over here. So it's been a massive leap, even in the DualSense controller, it's been a massive leap in terms of infrastructure. We've got touchpads, we've got multiple speakers, microphones, and an updated DualSense look. We've also got a lot of features in terms of customization of the PlayStation 5. We've got multiple game lines, which are very exciting as well. So this has been a massive leap in terms of technology. Also, like the PlayStation 3, we saw a massive leap in terms of the build and the size as well. This thing is not small as well. Unlike other PlayStation consoles, we do have a slim model as well, and we will have other models in the future. But this is the model that we're going for today. It features multiple USB outputs. So we've got 3 USB outputs, we have a LAN connection, we've also got the power connection, HDMI connection, and also a micro USB connection for all of its accessories. Internally, as I've mentioned, we've got a custom SSD that has 825 gigabytes enabled inside of it. Hardware instead of software to help the CPU with loading games. So it means that we have faster load times in terms of our game engines and everything. So you have less wait times. We also have ray tracing inside of games as well. We also have performance modes, high fidelity modes, and extra capabilities there as well in terms of gaming. And in terms of notable games, in terms of the PlayStation 5 so far, we've got a lot of really great exclusives. We've got the Spider-Man series. The new Spider-Man 2 game has been absolutely amazing and hands down one of the best gaming cinematic experiences and storylines out there to this day. We've got the Hogwarts Legacy game, which is a great cross-compatible game but works very well on the PlayStation 5. God of War Ragnarok, which is the latest in the God of War series and one of the best games you could ever play on the PlayStation 5. It is a massive game with many features such as 200 hours or so of gameplay, and it's a huge story with big assets and an amazing advanced storyline as well. We've got a lot of remasters such as the Last of Us series as well, and this game is a collection of a lot of the Uncharted series, and it's a fantastic game to play. I've really enjoyed it. So we've got a lot of really great remasters in terms of this generation. We've also got the new Final Fantasy game and many more games like Elden Ring, and we've got many exclusives like Stray, Returnal. But what was really notable about this line is just the upgrade in terms of graphics, the speed times, and how amazing the new PlayStation 5 is. It's just a cinematic experience altogether. And this was the evolution of the PlayStation console line. If you want to like and subscribe to support the channel to see more videos like this, love that, and I will see you guys next time.